Hello everyone, I'm John Higgins. This is PNG Tonight. Coming up, the work of Asha Lucchini to help other women and children, reflecting on her past family tragedy where she lost her mother to crime. The honey industry resuscitated after being on the brink of destruction, and Dr. Sam Tam, or Papa Sam, with business ideas away from the conventional. She lost her mother when she was a baby, killed apparently in a horrific theft at Ohola in Port Moresby in the late 1980s. From that tragedy, Asha Lucchini decided to do something about it, not take revenge, but help other women and children. I talked to her today. Thank you, Asha Lucchini, for coming onto the program. Welcome to PNG Tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, you're into assisting women, assisting kids. Tell me about your involvement in that part of the sector of the community of the country.
Oh, I think if I spoke about that, we'll be here all day.
all right. Let's be brief.
All right, so first of all, I am the co-founder and executive director of Mary Talks Save, and we are a youth-led organisation that's about providing a platform for young people to be involved with development.
It's an NGO.
Yes, that's correct. And for young people to really have a seat and have a voice and have a say, especially when we consider that 60% of PNG's population is under the age of 30, and we are severely underrepresented at every level.
Yes.
And so we specifically, Mary Talks Save, looks at youth engagement within gender development and gender development in Papua New Guinea. Aside from what I do with Mary Talks Save, I'm also the Child Protection Coordinator at Save the Children for our Child Protection Technical Unit. Okay. And what we're doing there is we're supported by the Australian government through a grant with Strong M People, Strong M Nation here in PNG. And what we're doing is we're working really hard to try to have the widespread adoption of child protection policies and safeguarding procedures in civil society in Papua New Guinea. Because when we talk about child rights in this country, it does not have its own platform yet. When we talk about the protection of children and their rights, we only ever marry it to the rights of women and women's empowerment. We never talk about the protection of children and their rights as their own platform and their own agenda.
Okay. All right, that's the outlook there. Yeah.
Perfect.
Thank you for that. What sort of people are involved with you in this organization?
For Mary Talks Save?
Yes.
So Mary Talks Save is constitutionally, we are bound to have people lead the organisation under the age of 27. Okay. So at the moment we have young people in Papua New Guinea and Australia working together and fostering that relationship.
I suppose I was looking at, besides yourself, who else is with you?
Besides myself?
Yourself, who else is working in this group?
Yeah, so with Mary Talks Save, we're 10 young people at the moment. We're 10 young Papua New Guineans and young Australians working together with Save the Children. Save the Children's been in Papua New Guinea for over 35 years.
So the Australian government or Australian authorities are probably helping you. What about PNG government authorities here? Are they looking at what you are doing?
Yeah, we've been getting some great support from the Department of Community Development and through Secretary Solomon and of course...
Anna Solomon.
Yes, that's correct. And so that's been really helpful with Save the Children, especially with the Lookout and Piccaninny Act that was amended in 2015 and the implementation of that. And that's what we're trying to do, is support that implementation.
Okay. Looking after Piccaninny, kids. Papua New Guinea is known for loving their kids.
Yes.
In fact, the whole country. We love our kids. But along the way, we create problems for them. There are parts about us that's desirable, I suppose. And how do you see that? Papua New Guinea, they love their kids. There shouldn't be a problem there.
Absolutely. I think Papua New Guineans love their children. But I think with PNG, it all comes down to education. And it doesn't matter what country in the world. There are some certain cultural practices, for example, that parents think they are doing out of love and care and support for their children that could actually be something like negative discipline and not positive discipline. So when we talk about physical punishment of children.
Okay, and then what about violence against women? Are you in on that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So with my work with Save the Children, we do try to incorporate gender equality into our child protection work as well, and social inclusion, because it's important to make sure we're including all members of society, especially members such as those who are living with a disability. So violence against women in this country is, we don't have data that is recent, but when I personally think about it, I only have to think about the women in my life, and I cannot count on one hand the women that I know, my own aunties, bubbles, cousins in this country who have not been affected by violence, and that speaks volumes to me.
Yes.
I don't need data to
That's
tell
true,
me
true,
that
true.
we have a violence issue.
Flip the coin, Ash. There is violence against men as well from women.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think when we talk about gender violence, what needs to be understood is that it is not just violence against women, it is also violence against men. However, when we sit them side by side, women are disproportionately more affected, and so are the children. But that's not saying that we should discount the violence men are going through, because that is real, and there's trauma, and there are issues that need to be dealt with, and that needs to be addressed as well. All violence needs to be addressed.
Yes. I want to ask you a personal question.
Okay.
Are you driven into this by your history, your misfortunes in life?
Yeah.
How your mother died in Hohola many years ago at the hands of criminals. Has that forced you into this?
I wouldn't say forced. It is definitely influenced.
Influence, okay.
It has been living and growing up in Papua New Guinea and having a Papua New Guinean mother who died in such a violent and horrific way. That has been possibly one of the greatest influences in my life to do something meaningful with my life and to make sure I'm addressing violence in PNG.
You were, of course, a little kid in the car at the time of the...
Yes, I was 13 months.
Wow. And obviously that has, as you say, a lot of impact and a lot of influence in what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Okay, and then the ideal Papua New Guinean for women, what is it with the organization?
What I would like to see as the
Yeah,
ideal
yeah.
Papua New Guinea? The ideal Papua New Guinea to me is, I truly believe that gender equality is achievable in my lifetime. And I say in my lifetime, you know, hoping I'm living well into my 90s. But I would like to see, the ideal Papua New Guinea that I would like to see in terms of gender equality is equal representation for women in Parliament, getting women into the formal economy and having that as equal representation as well, into our businesses and in our social structures as well. I want to see 50-50.
Okay, all right. Asha Lucchini, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. Lucchini. After a break, the honey industry revived after being threatened by disease.